Hey everybody, Macintosh Plus 1 MB reviews. Today we have the entire Game Boy line. Start off, as usual, the original Game Boy. It's got 4 AA batteries, as you can see right there. And its competitors had like 8 AA batteries, Atari Lynx and Sega Game Gear. Now the thing that set it apart from those two consoles was kind of hard to figure out. You know, it sold very well, and, you know, just why? The other ones had a backlit screen with color. This one was black and white with no backlight. It was the titles. I'll show you what I mean. The games for these were very fun. Okay, in 1995 there came the Game Boy Play It Loud. Nothing special about this, it's an original Game Boy, but with a color case. This one came out in 1989, so I'm kind of surprised to how it took them 6 years to actually put a color case, but, you know, who cares? 7 years later, they introduced a major drastic change. The Game Boy Pocket. It was about 2/3 the size, a better screen, and only took 2 AA batteries. Released in 1996, the Game Boy Pocket was fit for any handheld needs, fit in your pocket, hence the name, and was excellent for games. Played every single Game Boy game still, and it was pretty fun. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, played the same games. But then, in 1998, only in Japan, there came the Game Boy Light. The Game Boy Light was only released in Japan, like I said, and only 12,000 were made. I thought it'd be appropriate to have Japanese Pokemon Yellow, so let's take a look at it. 2 AA batteries, because, you know, has the backlight, new backlight. Kind of sucks it was only in Japan, though. It would have been nice to have a backlight in America. Oh, and this backlight is much greener in real life. It's not exactly blue. So as you can see, there was a new backlight. However, us Americans didn't really get to use it. So yeah, that was the Game Boy Light. Simply just a Game Boy Pocket. It's a bit taller, takes 2 AA's, and has a backlight. Nothing really changed. They're pretty rare nowadays. But then we have these things. The Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color was very popular. Came out in 1998, same year as the Light, except it came out every region. So, the Game Boy Color took 2 AA's and had a small screen, just as small as the original Game Boy screen. But now, you could play Game Boy Color games. These were introduced later on. Okay, so you could play your games in color, including the original Game Boy games. Let's show off what Game Boy Color games were like, though. Kind of hard to see. Anyways, Pokemon Crystal. Hey everybody, it's Macintosh plus 1MB. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Crystal. Just joking. So yeah, that was pretty cool, you know. Had a faster processor, so like right when you turned it on, immediately starts to the game. Rather than Nintendo scrolling down the screen for a little while and then it finally going. But darn, wasn't this a drastic change? Compared to the Game Boy to the Game Boy Pocket, I think this was a major change in the Game Boy line. The Game Boy Advance. This one had a horizontal form factor and 32-bit graphics. Not to mention a wider screen, and the most important feature, you could play these games. Okay, so these games were better than the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, but they were in a cartridge half the size. That was kind of impressive. Still takes 2 AA's. And, yet again, no backlight. It also has shoulder buttons. These were added. Okay, I'm just gonna go really quickly in Mario Kart. So yeah, this really wasn't a bad console. 32-bit graphics opposed to 8-bit graphics for every single other Game Boy. That was double the Super Nintendo. It was like a little portable Super Nintendo that you could just carry around in your pocket anywhere. Disappointing, no backlight. But then in 2003, 2 years after the Game Boy Advance of 2001, the Game Boy Advance SP comes out. With its clamshell design, screen is nice in shape, and pretty much just a fold-up Game Boy Advance with a front light. If you got the 2005 versions, you'd have a backlight on it. I have model AGS 001. If you have 101, that means you have the one with the backlight screen. You can check that by looking at the sticker on the back. You can also check by seeing like if the backlight goes on and off. So basically nothing special about it. It's really the same thing as the Game Boy Advance. However, it had the clamshell design. I don't know, did it have a wider screen? I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. But it had a clamshell design and the lit screen. So that was kind of cool. But then all of a sudden in 2005, something amazing comes out. The Game Boy Micro. Now look at how small this thing is. I know. The problem is it does not play the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color games like the Advance and the Advance SP do, but this was still pretty revolutionary. The screen was so bright. I swear, I'm on the lowest brightness right now. Kind of like flares in the camera. So this thing was tiny. Literally, it's like 4 inches wide and 2 inches tall. Had awesome graphics due to the console being a little bit smaller, so you know, since it was smaller, it had better resolution, which making the graphics better was pretty cool. So the Game Boy line was pretty awesome. All of them were fun, portable, and truly revolutionary, innovative. The Game Boy line is very awesome. Okay. Another awesome thing, rechargeable batteries. Yes, these had rechargeable batteries. Not any more delays. But that's the end of the Game Boy line. So thank you for watching.